I used to treat online business models like they were slot machines. Drop shipping, let me pull that lever, see if this product works. I launched it last week. Didn't work out. It's not getting any sales. The ads suck, whatever. Let me try this other product. Pull on the lever. Ka-ching. Nothing. Didn't work. Should I analyze and go into it to see why it didn't work? Nah, let me just try a different product. Go to this product. Shing. Oh, the niche is saturated. You know what? Maybe drop shipping is saturated in general. Let me go on to this next slot machine. Amazon FBA. Ching, same thing. The product didn't work. Okay, let me try a new niche in Amazon FBA. Ching, oh man, that didn't work either. Okay, let me move on to the SMMA section and the SMMA slot machines. Facebook ads as a service. Ching, oh that doesn't work. Let me try a new service. Google ads. Ching, oh man, that one is just way too saturated and it doesn't work. Short form content editing. Ching, pull on that slot machine lever. Nothing. Oh man, this is a little bit of something maybe, but hey, it's not scalable. It's not profitable enough. Let me move on to the next thing. And the reason for this is because I was always chasing passive income. I know if I keep pulling on these slots, eventually one of these passive income streams will work for me and these business models will work for me and I'll just make money on autopilot for the rest of my life. Even though I have zero skills, zero infrastructure, and zero business model. Oh, wait a second. I have zero skills, zero infrastructure, and I have zero business knowledge. Now, at this point, I think some people wake up and they're like, what am I doing? Why am I keep pulling on these slot machines trying to get lucky? Let me just build these skills. Whereas you have other people who think, well, if I spend 5 hours a day researching slot machine methods and hacks where I can beat the system if I find the hack or whatever, then eventually, even if it takes a year, I might actually win one of these slot machines. I mean, what's the alternative, right? Like you spend a whole entire year developing a specific skill. I mean, sure, after a year working on the skill set, I'll probably be a beast and I'll never go broke again because I have this skill set that I can rely on and I can skill stack to make sure that I can work on even bigger projects and solve even bigger problems and get paid even more money. But man, that's a lot of work. I think I'm just going to keep pulling these slot machines. And hopefully I can beat the laws of probability and I'll be the only human being to ever exist on Earth who can make a living off of just finding hacks in slot machines, right? Even though no one's ever done that before and there's a much more proven path and an assured way to make money by building these skill sets and being actually valuable to someone or being valuable to an industry or whatever it is, I'm still going to take my chances of pulling these slot machines because I'm a god who can bend reality to my will. Now, this sounds a bit dramatic, I agree, but chasing these high risk, high reward business models is the same thing. One caveat to this is that this really is only high risk, high reward to beginner, right? Because the experts, they don't treat the business like this. They don't just go into the one product and they're like, oh, it didn't work after 2 weeks, let me switch and go to another one. Maybe some of them do that, but what I mean is within those 2 weeks of testing that product, whereas you're just hoping that it gets sales and people start buying your stuff and you're all of a sudden successful overnight, what these people are doing are within those 2 weeks, let me figure out why is it not getting sales. Maybe I got to tweak the headline here. Maybe I got to find another branding angle. Maybe I'm targeting the wrong demographic. Maybe it is saturated for this specific purpose, but if I re-angle this and use it for this purpose, even though it's the same product, it could work, right? So it's like they're digging super deep, like a mile deep into each product, whereas beginners are usually just doing surface level. Let me post it. Let me see if I get sales. If not, I'm going to try another one. What does that sound like to you? Slot machines, baby. Cha-ching. Let me try another one. Cha-ching. Let me try another one. I mean, you're basically just at the Nino all day pulling on these levers, man. It's ridiculous. But it's okay because you probably just don't know that you're doing that yet. Now, before I figured out how to use Upwork to get clients consistently, I was pretty much the same thing. I was like, I got to figure out online business because this is a way that I can make passive income. Let me just, pull on all these slot machines and try to figure it out and get lucky. There were cryptocurrency influencers saying you could flip Bitcoins and all that to make money. There were people like Iman Gadzhi, Mike Visteel, Tanner J. Fox. They were all talking about how their business runs on autopilot. They can just travel all day or play video games all day if they want to, or they just can ride around their Lambos all day and still make $20K a month from their business because of the way that they have set it up. It's autopilot, blah, blah, blah. And no hate to these guys. I'm not trying to expose them or call them out or anything like that. I'm just saying these were the big figures, the big gurus back in the day, maybe 5-6 years ago. I mean, Iman Gadzhi is still really big right now, but regardless, it wasn't any of those guys' fault, right? It was my fault because I spend most of my time looking for a shortcut instead of just spending that time working on one specific skill set and really just diving into that and figuring out, man, how can I be an absolute beast in this service? But I also understand the beginner's perspective because it's like you just don't know what works and you're afraid if you're going to choose the wrong path, right? Because you have this Warren Buffett saying where Warren Buffett's like, you know what? I had this genius friend. I'm completely butchering this, okay? But he said something like, I had this genius friend that I went to university with. He went into the steel industry. I went into whatever industry. My industry was better because it just grew over time, whereas his industry was dying. It was a steel industry. And I think as a beginner, that's the number one fear that you have is you're going to spend all this time going into an industry that is dying, right? But the number one thing is you just have to have a skill. Now, for example, Warren Buffett's friend, he probably, I mean, I think he was still successful. He was still like a millionaire, but he just wasn't a multi-billionaire world's richest man like Warren Buffett was. And the thing is, even Warren's friend, he could have used those skills of being able to manage a team, hiring people, recruiting people, whatever he did in that company towards a different industry, one that was actually growing. He would never be able to go into that growing industry if he never really built that skill set to begin with. And that's kind of the whole point of this video. So bottom of the line is, if you're a beginner, you have to choose one skill to work on or one industry to service and figure out how can you solve the big bottlenecks that this industry is constantly running into, which for most people, it's usually going to be like lead flow. How do I get more clients in the door? Or it could be like the back end operations of stuff. Like, all right, well, I have a lot of clients. I just don't know what to do when I get them. So you have to solve one of those problems and you have to stick to the path of figuring out how can I solve this problem. When you build this skill, when you build this base of value that you have, even if you're working for the newspaper company, right? You're writing headlines and whatever. Okay, it's a pretty simple shift. Instead of working for the news company, just take that copywriting skill that you have, writing persuasively, writing entertainingly, writing good headlines, all that, and apply that to like TikTok ads or Facebook ads or Google ads. I imagine, just like myself, most people who first were starting to get into making money online probably have one of these three issues, if not all three. Number one being that they don't have any experience, they don't have any skill sets, but they are willing to learn. Number two being you probably are broke, so it's not like you have, thousands of dollars coming in where you could take half of that money and just invest it into constantly launching new products or doing that. Number three is you just can't sit down for 5 to 8 hours a day or even like 3 hours a day consistently every single day doing boring tasks, even though you know that these boring tasks are the tasks that will lead you to success. It will lead you to accomplishing your goal. It's almost like your brain is torturing you. It's so fucked up. Now, the last one is really the main factor for why most beginners can't succeed, is because it is really tough. And I've been there. Like, you're sending cold emails all day or you're sending cold DMs all day and nothing is working at all. And so you feel really, really discouraged. You're like, man, I'm sending this all day. It's so boring. It's mentally draining. You just can't do it. It's hard for you to it's not fun. You're doing stuff that is like you're dreading and you're not even getting rewarded for it. So it really sucks. On top of that, here are the problem with some of the other business models I mentioned. So most of them require consistent capital to work. For dropshipping, you need money for ads and for ad creatives. Like, who's going to edit the video? Who's going to make the graphic post? You could learn it yourself, and you definitely should learn it yourself. But for a lot of people, they're going to outsource it and pay an editor or pay a graphic designer to make the ads. So you need money for that. Amazon FBA, you need initial money for inventory, and you need money for ads, and you need money for giveaways and launching your product and whatnot, right? Same with cryptocurrency trading or day trading, whatever. You're spending money on you're risking a ton of money, hundreds if not thousands of dollars on some cryptocurrencies, and you're just crossing your finger and you're praying that when you sell it, you get a little bit profit on top of that. The problem with SMMA is you spend all day doing these really boring tasks, and like I said, it just feels like you're failing. It feels like nothing is working. But the thing is, you are learning as you go. This applies to everything, but especially for SMMA. Okay, so this means you're going to absolutely suck at everything that you do in the beginning. That's when shiny object syndrome comes, and you're like, why am I spending all this time sending out these cold emails or trying to work on my skill set, trying to become a better video editor, a better graphic designer, a better blah, 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 whatever it is, when instead this guy right here just posted a video on this new business model. I should just stop all the momentum that I already have and then just completely pivot to a different business model and start all over again. You work hard, you bust your ass, but you can't get any clients. Your brain says to you, this is boring and it's not working. There are no signs of positive feedback here. But this is why I like Upwork so much. And I'm not sponsored by Upwork. I'm not like a secret Upwork agent or whatever. I'm just trying to figure out how to make money online. And then, once I really started leveraging Upwork, I was like, holy, this is like a complete game changer. Makes it way easier now. Because even if you're not getting these high ticket clients who have these really big budgets that you can show off and be like, wow, I've done this for that company. Even the small wins, they really do stack up and they motivate you to keep on going. So when you get a meeting, when you get a response from someone, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a response. Someone's actually kind of interested in working with me. And then it kind of motivates you and it pushes you to build something bigger and start getting that momentum and then start learning from your mistakes. So then that way you are setting yourself up for success down the line. When you're skill stacked, you figured out, all right, I offered the short form content editing at first. And now let me try to mix that with like ads or something. And now I can do short form content editing and I can do ads. Now I understand ad psychology, and you're making a lot of money for your clients. And then using those case studies, you can now, and the profits as well, You can probably invest into hiring someone else to do a different method of outreach and get clients, or specifically target high ticket clients if that's what you want to do. So the bottom line is you have momentum. And maybe some people just have to learn this the hard way like myself, but trust me when I say 99% of people will make money faster choosing the slow and steady route than if they choose the high risk, high reward route. I feel like a complete idiot looking back and thinking like, why did I waste all that time when I could have just done the logical thing, which is build a skill set, become valuable, build your brand and build your network, and that way you have unlimited work. And then you can just use VAs and you can hire people to outsource some of the work when you have too much to do. And that's how you create an agency nowadays. That's like the easiest path and the least stressful path to going from complete beginner to building an agency, making money online. I still have a long way to go. There's a road to 20K a month right now. And I got to fix my profit margins too. But this month profit margins are looking way better. Thank God. I had to make some adjustments real quick, adjust my services and whatnot. But I would have never gotten here if I didn't just finally wake up and thought, all right, let me just stick to one niche, short form content editing, and then kind of build from that and get to where I am now, where we're consulting. We're kind of doing like the growth operating thing, getting into that. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.